if there's one guy out there that's running around like he don't care, hair on fire, it's Cam Jurgens. Why?
Because I didn't care. I mean, like my journey in Nebraska was different than what I ever expected it to be, and it was a struggle at first, and like I had to go through a lot of stuff to get to where I am today. But yeah, I mean, I was like, when I first got to Nebraska, I was a tight end. I went in heavy. I was like 270 coming from a leg injury.
Yeah.
Went down to 250. I'm learning the offense, and then I get asked like right before week one, like, hey, we want you at O-line next year. We think you can be our center. And I'm like, man, I don't know if I can do that.
But why did he think you could do it though?
I think he saw the athleticism and the blocking.
In practice? Or was
yeah.
it just I'm saying you was on scout team your redshirt year, right?
Yeah. I was on scout team. I was trying to be a menace in practice and go as hard as I can and do everything I could and show them like who I was.
Yeah.
And so I'm like, all right, well, let me think about this O-line deal. And like a week and a half later, I dropped 20 pounds. I was at 230. I'm like, maybe I just need to run faster.
Yeah. Somebody knew something though. And when you look at that, I always say, okay, second round, 51st overall, right?
Yep.
Coming from tight end, going to a different position. But a lot of people don't know. In high school, you did multiple sports.
Oh yeah. No, football, basketball, track. So I was
Punter,
all over the
discus
place.
shot.
Yep. So I did everything in football except play O-line.
I'm just thinking when I went through that, I'm like, dang, tight end, fullback, linebacker, punter. That was, and we talking 11 man.
Yeah.
Class C?
B.
Class B at the time. Okay, did you play in the Shrine Bowl?
No, I did. Well, I broke my leg, so I wasn't able to my senior year. So like I was just trying to get healthy, and I'm like I wasn't clear to do nothing yet.
Yeah. So okay, so walk me through it. You get a scholarship offer at Nebraska. You get here, it ain't necessarily you ain't the guy.
Mm-hmm.
You're just one of the guys that's playing on the team that got to go against these number one guys every day, right? You come back your next year. Now they ask you to play the position. Do you play or do you start?
So I started my second year when I went over. So I made that switch. Like I said, week one, they asked me to move over to center. And I was like, all right, well, let me think about it. I dropped weight to like 230. I'm like, all right, let me just become a better route runner, do everything I can to like stay here. I didn't know if I could hold that weight as much. And so week 4, I go into the tight end room. They're like, yo, you're with the O-line today. So it's like, all right, well, I'm moving there anyway. And so I'm going through this process of switching over to O-line, learning how to be a center and do it. Everything's new to me.
You never played center before?
No, I mean, I did.
School?
I did when I was in like 3rd through 5th grade because I was too heavy to carry the ball.
Okay.
So they had that stripe on the helmet.
Yeah.
Even though I was faster than all the other kids, I weighed too much.
Way too much.
And so I made the switch over to O-line. So I'm practicing at center, learning this new position. I break my foot. And so I missed out all the like crucial practice reps. And then I'm getting into, after the season, getting into spring ball. I'm excited to get going. And then I turn around and break my other foot.
What?
So I miss out on most of spring ball there. I'm not getting any practice reps at center, but like I'm just doing mental reps. I'm learning everything, but physically I'm not able to do anything.
Yeah.
So mentally learning the position, get everything down, and comes around fall camp's getting ready. And then I retweak one of my foots. And so I had to deal with that. So I didn't really practice most of fall camp. I look back on it and I think I had like a week of healthy practice at center.
You still started.
And I started. And so I'm going in there not knowing what's going on. Like I mentally knew, but it's like physically, I didn't know how to snap. Like right. I was learning how to snap. Everybody in Nebraska is booing me, saying benching. And I'm like, this is my
first time, my first rodeo.
Yeah, I'm like, I'm new to this. So like that, I mean, just dealing with that mentally, dealing with all the fans and the hate.
Talk
and
about that a little bit though, because I think fans need to hear from a player's perspective, right? How that affects you when, what did you hear? What kind of noise did you hear?
Man, I heard just a little bit of everything.
Really?
there was very little positivity at that time
Yeah.
because we're losing and they're looking for ways to put blame on people. And like, obviously the quarterback gets the blunt of it. And then it can go to me because snaps are bad. And they were bad. But it's like, yo, I'm just learning how to do this. I'm new to it. And I don't think fans really understand that. And I get it. You know, they just want to win. Like that's how I was growing up. Like we just want to win. So I mean, negativity isn't always the worst thing. Like I get it. It made me better for it, you know, mentally stronger and getting able to, you know, overcome those things. Like, you know, I'm putting in work. If they're hating me or if they don't hate me, doesn't matter. It didn't change nothing. I'm still putting in the same amount of work. Like I worked at it every single day. And, you know, I was like, all right, well, you know, we're going to get over this hump. And, you know, we did.
Yeah. Yep. Well, you did get over the hump, but going back to you in center, you know, you had your struggles early, but then later on, when I look at you and I say, and I've told you this 1,000 times, how come we can't get 5 Cam Jurgens on that offensive line? And it's not because you were the biggest guy, you were the most sound technique wise. No, it was because you had the motor and the will to go. You didn't. If somebody hit you in the mouth, you weren't gonna take that lightly, were you?
No. And the thing, when I went into a game, it's like that mentality and that shift, like, you know what it is.
Yeah.
Like when you go in there, it changes. And I think people don't have that in them. And I'm like, yo, I didn't just have that. You know, you're not built.
Where
You're
do you
not
think
born
you
with
got
that.
it though?
I mean, I got it. Like, I mean, obviously I grew up like on a farm, like putting in a lot of work. And so like I had that, you know, mentality of like hard work builds it. But like I built that in practice, you know, like I had a great O-line coach in Greg Austin, and like he really pushed us mentally to be like the strongest people we can be mentally. Since like, yo, it's not that tough. You know, if you really think about it, a football play lasts 4 seconds. Like, yo, can you give it your all for 4 seconds? And it's not that tough. Just being mentally locked in and go as hard as you can for 4 seconds. It's 4 seconds. It's 4 seconds. So that's the mentality I took in practice. And if I'm going 100% in practice, the games, you're not thinking. You don't think about nothing. You're just doing. Your body takes over, and you're just going.
The when you who was your toughest teammate that you went against? You remember? Was it a guy that you just used to bang with?
In college,
Yeah.
man, we had a lot of good D linemen. There were some tough dudes. You know, I think early on,
nobody, y'all. Cam didn't have
like we had good dudes, but like
everybody did. Nobody did what Cam did. They.
I mean, I felt like I took it to everybody there.
Oh, boy, I would have loved to play with you.
Yeah,
because the mentality of the guys that I played with on defensive line, y'all would have been banking. It would have been exciting football. And I got so much energy because I look at you and I'd be like, man, listen, Cam went from tight end to center. You didn't go from tight end to guard. You didn't go from tight end to fullback. You went from tight end to center to in the league. That's unheard of. You either are very smart because you got to pick up playing center. Everybody thinks snapping the ball, and you know when they see you do this and you put your head down and you snap it back, everybody think that's a science and they think that's easy to do.
No, I mean, I think it's like shooting a free throw. It's like, yo, any Joe Schmo from off the street can go shoot a free throw and make it. Like anybody can snap the ball, but it's like, yo, when you're in the game and you're shooting, it's like it's all repetition, muscle memory, and like that everything like a free throw. It's got to get built. You know, you can have good form, you can do it correctly, but can you repeat it? And so obviously that gets better over time. That's how I would compare to it. You know, there's different strategies and techniques to it, and you're going to learn different ways to do it, but you just got to get reps in. That's the end of the day.
How long have you wanted to be a Husker?
Oh, my whole life. I mean, my whole life. I grew up idolizing guys in the league and guys in college at Nebraska. And like going through the draft process, people all the teams would ask me, it's like, yo, what's your favorite NFL team growing up? And I'm like, I didn't have one. Like, what are you talking about? Like I thought it was funny. And I'm like, yo, I just watched Nebraska, and every single guy from Nebraska that went to the league, I watched them.
Right.
And so yeah, I was a Lions fan because Sue played there.
Right.
It's like I was a Bucks fan because Devontae David played there. It's just like, I just follow like those Cornhuskers.
Yeah. I'm the same. Like somebody asked me, who's my favorite team? Oh, I don't have team. I got players. And I
Yep.
go with the players. Like I'm a super Philly fan now. Now, why? Not only because they got Cam there, but now you're starting to get some guys that I know too. You know, with Devin White, with getting Saquon Barkley, I think was phenomenal. Can you talk a little bit about that Saquon deal? I mean, have you watched him run the ball and blocking for him? I would think would be a delight.
Man, who hasn't watched him run? Who hasn't been like he's a beast.
Yeah.
He is a beast, and I'm fired up to be blocking for him this year. You know, that's going to be a huge addition to the room. Everything I hear about him is great stuff. Super smart dude, and just man, he can run that ball. And he is strong, physical, and that's what you want in a running back. Like we can take over a game with him, and you know, I feel like we had a great running back last year, Swift, and you know, I wish obviously every old lineman's going to be the same. Like, yo, let's run the ball more, you know, and now we got Saquon. It's going to be the same thing. Like, let's run that ball.
All right. Fan question. And then I'm gonna let Bach jump in here and then we'll get you one more segment. We'll jump off air and get you one more segment. So fans, because Corell Buckalter played for Philly. So we used to go to Philly all the time, go to the games. What's the difference between the fans in Philly and the fans in Nebraska?
Man, the fans in Philly, like they're both great fan bases, but the fans in Philly are brutal. Like there's no Nebraska nice, Midwest nice out there. But like I come to the point, I love it. Like we'll be 7-0, undefeated, and we'll be losing at halftime. We're getting booed going to halftime.
Dang.
Like they just demand excellence, but they also they're knowledgeable. Like Nebraska is knowledgeable, but they're to a different level. They're like, they watch the game intently and they'll be like, yo, he didn't have a good game, but man, did you see him hustle out there? Did you see him work hard? Like they notice that stuff. So like if you're a hardworking dude and you play hard, they're gonna be a fan of you.
Yeah. Oh, well, and they're a little aggressive too in Philly. They're a little aggressive. I went to a game and before you know it, who was Philly playing? Green Bay? I don't remember who it was. Before you know it, it was an all-out brawl in the stands.
Oh,
and I'm talking it all the way up at the top. And I'm like, these people are really fighting in the game, during the game, banging. And so it was crazy.
I mean, what else would you want? You want to go play in LA and have nobody know who you are?
Like, Philly, baby.
Come on now. You want a fan base that shows up and cares and has your back and will fight you, but will fight other people on your back. You know, like it is what it is. You know, you're going to get it both ways.
Who has been the toughest person to go against in the league?
Dexter Lawrence.
Really?
Yeah. I think
because he's big and is he long or what? Why you say?
He is so big, so powerful, so explosive. I mean, there's a lot of really good guys I played this year, but I'd say, you know, from that nose guard, like nobody does it better than him.
Yeah.
And, you know, Chris Jones was really good too, obviously. Stud. And then, you know, we got some really good guys on the Eagles. Man, coming in there. Guys. Getting the block Fletcher Cox, man. I'm just so blessed. I got to play with him for 2 years, and he retired. Like he's a legend, man. So, I had a lot of really good players in practice that helped me get ready for games.
Well, I was going to talk to you about that. How important was it to have Kelsey as a big brother in that situation?
Man, he was great. He was incredible. Like he was just a really good mentor, and everybody talks about Kelsey, and he is the best. Everything you think, it's that plus more. But like everybody in that room, the O-line coach, Lane Johnson, Joe Malata, Lana Dickerson, like everybody in there was incredible to me. So it was a whole room effort.
We were supposed to do this 2 years ago, right before you left, and we didn't get a chance to. So tell me about how the beef jerky, the jerky got started. And then let the people know how they can go get some of this mango habanero jerky.
Yeah, well, first off, you can get it on our website, jurgy.co, JURGY.co. And so this all started in college. When NIL got passed, it was a fun thing. Nebraska, actually, our strength coach, Coach Duvall's daughter, Sonia, made me this beef jerky logo, and they made a little clip. And they're like, hey, you can use these logos for NIL. And then my mom ended up, turned around, made a T-shirt, and we started selling T-shirts. And then we started partnering with a locker here in Nebraska and started making some jerky and selling it. And it was just a really fun thing to do. And then my partner at the time and my mom was helping out a ton. You know, she was our shipping department for us and doing everything at the early part. She was making shirts. And then me and my partner, my right guard in Nebraska, former Husker, Matt Sichterman, he made the website for us. He's been helping out so much for the business. He's been basically running the show. That man is a genius, and he was a great right guard for us. We had a good year together. And so we made this jerky, and we got these new bags, these new flavors, and we partnered with a new jerky maker out in Pennsylvania. And this dude is incredible. So we got 5 flavors: mango habanero, original, teriyaki, cracked pepper, hot honey, and they're all great. Mango habanero is my personal favorite. But it's been such a fun project doing it. You know, I grew up deer hunting and going out with my dad and my brother and making jerky, and it's always been a passion of mine. And now going into the space of being an entrepreneur and trying to build like a business, it's so fun, especially keeping in touch with one of my best friends, Matt, and my mom, and trying to build this and make something of it. And, you know, there's so many times, especially when guys are in the NFL and then they get done playing football, they got nothing to do after.
Yeah.
And so so this is another thing I'm thinking. It's like, let's build this brand and build this jerky. So then like, this is a fun thing for us to do. And so I enjoy it. And obviously the jerky's incredible. It speaks for itself. Like, you just got to try it. And like we started in college, and it was fun, like trying to do this NIL thing. And we asked for help with like the NIL director, and we didn't get much help at it. And, you know, me and Matt were like, well, let's just do it ourselves. Let's just figure it out. We're going to learn as we go. And then we made this jerky brand. And then, man, you fast forward like 2 years later, there's 2 more jerky brands in Nebraska out of nowhere. And I'm like, man, we were asking for help from the jump, and we didn't get none. But it's still fun, man. I love it. So hopefully you guys try it out, enjoy it.
Can you get it in stores?
So we're working on it. This is brand new. We've only had this new jerky for about a month now. And
really?
We're trying to lay the foundation and get everything ready. But yeah, it's all set up. Like we have it online, and we're trying to get in stores right now. We're just starting to get our wholesale product set up, but it's exciting, man. So it's new. You gotta watch out. That mango hop got a kick. If you like a little spice, try that mango hop and hot honey.
I might got a little bit too much spice. But tell the people about the website one more time. If they want to get any of these flavors, they can go to who? Where do they need to go to? Do you got that up?
Yeah, check it out on jerky.com or jerky.co, JURGY.co. And you can also find it on my Instagram. Right. And we have Jerky Co on Instagram and different social media products. So check it out, man. It's a great product. And, you know, it's 2 former Huskers and my mom that started it, and we're running the show now. So we're excited to get going. And, you know, it's cool, you know, going to different guys. Like, you talk about NIL, and a lot of times it's just like this company, an NIL company, giving athletes money. And that's about all it is. There's not too much. And it's like, we started this ourselves, and we figured out, we worked with another great resource we had was the UNL law students. We worked with their college over there, and we got help, you know, forming an LLC and making trademarks for the jerky, and like making, so it was really like a Nebraska started business. And we're still getting help from the law students, and it's been a really fun. So that would be the entrepreneurship clinic over at the university, and they've been awesome.
See, you see that, Bach? See, I like the fact that you said I went from a concept, we put it as an idea, we used our resources, and we LLC'd.
Yeah. And it's so fun making this product because like we use so many people from Nebraska. The logos and a lot of the stuff on the bag was made by a designer, AJ Wiley. He's from Nebraska. He worked with the football team for a little bit and just design. And now he's in Colorado now working with North Face. Like he is a big time designer. So like he killed it. You know, I think the bag looks incredible and it's just really fun. And we're excited to see where it can go now.
Yeah, I mean, I wouldn't mind. Me and my brother own a restaurant. And so you can never get good beef jerky, really. I mean, the real beef jerky, those little sticks, ain't it? This is it. And I'm not just saying that. I had you gave me some last time, but this right here, fire.
Yeah. So the guy,
Delicious.
the place that makes it is actually we had to go out and we found a new place and made it out in Pennsylvania, and we met with these people. And this guy grew up Amish his whole life, and now like his parents own a butcher shop, and he's like, dude, I've been making jerky and working with meat my entire life, and so he's made a big business of it, and the stuff he makes is incredible. Like I'm just excited to get it out there and have people try it.
No, it's good stuff. I'm a yield to Bach because Bach has been sitting here patiently because I'm a little greedy. I can take all your time, and I don't want to do that. So I'm gonna let Bach ask you a couple questions, and we'll get back to it, and then we'll cut you loose.
Well, I know the NFL season's about to get going, and this is the long-term plan from the outside. Looks like center for you. Is that definitely what you're going to play when you get into camp?
Yeah, I'm gonna move over to that center position, and I'm just excited for this year. Playing guard this last year was new to me. I've never played guard before, and they moved me over there, and that was a new experience. And I feel like I had a pretty good year there playing that guard position. So I feel a little more comfortable moving back to center. So I'm excited for that.
How's Jalen Hurts?
Man, he's good. He's good, man. He is just a fearless leader.
Yeah.
And I'm not like everybody in the building. Like he is such a hard worker. He puts in more time than anybody else. Like he's in the building all day long. You don't always see that from your quarterback,
right?
Especially a quarterback that's paid as high as he is.
Yeah,
they might not always put in the work, but he does. Man, he's a beast in the weight room. He's always in the film room, and he puts in a lot of time. And I think people see that and they respect that.
What's the difference in the speed, Bach? And you can throw another one, but what's the difference in the speed in the NFL? I kind of loaded that question. Give me the differences between the NFL and playing at Nebraska.
So I would say like college ball, you have a lot of good players, but there are some players that like maybe not as fast and as strong as some of the other players. When you get to the league, man, everybody's good. Everybody's good. There's no reps off, but you see really good players in college too. Like I would say like the speed of the game is similar. It really is similar, but where you differ is just the schemes, the schematics. I think people that like don't play the sport won't recognize that, but like the playbook is a lot more advanced. And when you get in there, you may go to the line with 3 different plays you can play, and you got to be dialed in. You got to know what you're doing, because if you don't, like it happens so quick, and guys are like just amazing athletes that like it goes faster because you don't know what's going on.
Right.
So it is quick. It is very fast. It's high tempo, but you see really good players in college, but you have drop off, where in the NFL,
no drop off.
There ain't drop off.
Cross the board.
It's cross the board. Everybody's a dog.
So how do you separate yourself to be in that elite of the elites? What sets you in that category?
I mean, obviously, you need to be a good athlete to be in the NFL, but then like it's just mentality. Like we're talking, like you got to be a dog. That at the end of the day, you're just playing football, and you're playing football at the highest level. But like you need to have a strong dog mentality.
Yeah.
And we always talk about being the stronger team and being stronger than an opponent. And it's not like it's not about like, hey, can you beat them on this play? Can you be tougher this play? Like being the toughest team. It's not about being the toughest for one play. It's about being the toughest for that play, the next play, the play after that. Man, it's a long game. You're going to get there. You're going to get either 50 snaps or 90 snaps, maybe like who knows, but like it's about who's the toughest the longest. Yeah. So that's what it is. And it's a long game, it's a long season, and it's not how you play the first play, it's how you play every play.
Now, I played in the league, of course, not as long, nowhere near as long as you're gonna play, but I got my 2.5 years. Is it more bleep talking in college or the pros? And who was the biggest bleep talker that you had to deal with?
Definitely more in the pros. People are talking all the time, and I'm not really talking unless I get talked to or unless I throw somebody on the ground. You know, like
Yeah.
I'm conserving energy. You know, I'm going hard. I'm breathing heavy. Like I ain't going out there talking every play. But the biggest trash talker is Brandon Graham. He's on our team. That dude's on another level, and it could be about anything.
Really?
All practice long. He ain't just doing it in the games. He'll be talking to a 4-string tackle on the scout team, saying he's working it, and like he ain't got nothing going on. You know, it's just like, bro, it's hilarious. And he's going into, I want to say it's 14 or 15th season. Like he's been there forever, and that dude hasn't lost a beat in the trash talking department. I'll tell you that.
I miss that part of football.
Yeah.
You know, I think sometimes we get so caught up in trying to get things done the right way that we take the fun out the game. And if NFL guys that are making hundreds of thousands, if not millions of dollars, if you guys can relax and have some fun, I think everybody needs to take note and do that, because football's got to be fun too.
It is.
I get when you get to the NFL, it's a business, but it's still fun to you, right?
It's got to be. You know, if it's not fun, you ain't going to last in the league.
Yeah.
And especially when you're in them fall camp practices, you're in training camp, and them meetings, you're on hour 3 or 4 meetings of the day. Man, like you got to have something fun in the room, and you got to have some funny guys in the room. You need something. You need some humor.
Right.
You need something to light up the room. Otherwise, like, it's so stagnant if you don't. And you need to have fun with it. Otherwise, you're going to be miserable.
What did you have to do something? You had to do a skit at the rookie deal?
Oh yeah, I had to go up and sing in front of the whole team.
What did you sing?
The first night of it, I went up there and sang.
What'd you sing?
Man, I went up there, sang Country Road by John Denver.
Come on, give us some Country Road by John.
Smoked it.
Give us some Country Road by John Denver.
Oh man, I can't do it on air. It's a close. It was so good. It had to be done behind closed doors.
Really?
We can't have that in the public.
All right. That's fair.
Yeah, I'm just kidding. I got no rhythm, man. I got nothing. So I was just
don't
going up
believe you.
there, giving passion, singing loud. You know, it's just about being loud.
Right.
That's what it is.
Yeah. I mean, just see, Bach, y'all be talking stuff about me being loud. Cam just told you it's about being loud.
Loud. Being loud is confidence.
You got any other questions?
Well, I know my favorite memory of you as a Husker was, I think it was pushing an Oklahoma Sooner downfield 20 yards or so. What was your favorite memory of being a Husker? Somebody off the text line wanted to ask.
My favorite memory of being the Husker, I think it was just being a Husker, man. Like I grew up idolizing these guys. Like, hey, they were like my biggest role models. And so for me to be a Cornhusker and play in that football team and actually like be the one that people are looking up to, I mean, that in itself is like the best thing I could have had. And obviously I had great relationships, and met so many guys there. So I think that's awesome. I mean, you meet guys from all over the country and you form those bonds and those relationships. And even like players in the past, you know, you go to Nebraska, you're a Cornhusker for life. And I got brothers throughout time and history.
Yeah. But, you know, to go with that, and I kind of know where you were going with that. Me and you kind of had the same mentality as far as blocking goes.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Where if the whistle ain't blown, I don't care where I got you. I got you. I don't care if I got you downfield, I'm going to take you to the sidelines. But that mentality, how do we get that mentality back into the offensive line now? Because I think, for me, being a part of the Hogs, being a part of those guys, and I always ask myself, well, which guy could play with, you know, Sty, Uyghur, all those guys? Who could play with them? And it ain't a lot. So what do we got to do as far as Nebraska football to have all 5 guys have that same type of mentality?
I think it's built in the offseason. You know, if you got the right guys in the building, obviously you got to recruit and get good dudes in there. But you know, you can grow that. You can grow that in the offseason and practice, and like I did. But I don't know, man. At the end of the day, you got to have maybe a screw loose in your head. You got to be a little nuts. Like some of the best linemen are a little crazy. And I think that's a little bit what it is. You know, you got to have a little insanity in you to, you know, do a job that, you know, it's weird. O-line's like probably the only position that like doesn't need help from anybody else. You know, a quarterback needs an O-line to block for him, needs receivers to get open. Receivers need to, like O-line, it's just us. Right. We're on an island. We're just doing we don't need anybody else. It's just us, and we get no love, no gratitude, and all we're doing is just protecting people and hurting people, and that's all we care about. So, I mean, you got to be a little crazy, and I think you need a little bit of that in there to.
No, I'm listen, 100%. I want to get you crunk, but it ain't enough room in here for me and you. So we're gonna keep it copacetic. We're gonna keep it calm. You got time for one more segment? You got to get out of here.
I got to get out of here. I got to get to my day job of working out.
Come on. hey, you tell the people, you can say what you want. You can talk about the jerky. Just let the people out there know about Cam Jurgens and tell them how appreciative you are just for us to have fans like we got, the best fans in the country.
Yeah, I mean, I appreciate you having me on here. I appreciate all the Husker fans out there. Y'all are the best. I'll be a Cornhusker for life. You guys are the best. And, I mean, just go Big Red. Let's go. I'm so excited for Matt Rule and the coaches and the players that are in that building. So that's what I'm excited for. So I'm going to shout out them players. They're gonna have a good year this year.